Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 4.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Harvard University's president, Claudine Gay, back in the hot seat after the elite school said it found 2 more instances of inadequate citation in the embattled president's writings. The latest development coming a week after Harvard's top governing board unanimously stood behind Gay, following intense calls for her to resign over her congressional testimony on anti-Semitism on college campuses.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
Now, a U.S. House committee already investigating anti-Semitism at Harvard says it will also look at the plagiarism allegations. In a new letter to Harvard's highest governing body, the committee's chair cites Harvard's honor code that states members of the college community must commit themselves to producing academic work of integrity and asks, does Harvard hold its faculty and academic leadership to the same standards? Last week, Gay submitted corrections to a pair of papers she wrote as a professional academic in 2001 and 2017. But a CNN analysis of her writings documented other examples of plagiarism from the 90s when Gay was studying for her PhD at Harvard. Gay's 1997 dissertation lifted one paragraph almost verbatim from another source without citation. Jonathan Bailey is a plagiarism expert. What troubled you about the specific dissertation allegations more than others?
That paragraph showed a length of text that clearly could not have been produced any other way than through copying, was not quoted, and was not properly cited in the paper. So that's what made me worry about that one.
A Harvard spokesperson told CNN in a statement Thursday the university reviewed more of her writings, and Gay plans to update her 1997 work to correct these additional instances. Harvard said the inadequate citations were regrettable, but were not research misconduct. In a previous statement about the earlier allegations, Gay defended her work, saying, "I stand by the integrity of my scholarship. Throughout my career, I have worked to ensure my scholarship adheres to the highest academic standards." The allegations against Gay, who was the first black woman to serve as president of Harvard, have largely originated from conservative activists. But the question persists, is the school holding its president to the same standard as its students?
Plagiarism really exists on a spectrum between completely original writing and completely copied and pasted and trying to pass off someone else's work. And right now, the best we have on Claudine Gay is sitting somewhere in the middle between the two.
TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
Death and destruction surrounds the Gaza Strip after more than 2 months' worth of strikes between Israel and Hamas.
The fighting has to stop before we can really address the needs in Gaza and that the people are no longer killed.
The United Nations says close to 80% of people in Gaza are classified as being in a state of emergency or catastrophe.
As you can see behind me, the patients are on the hospital pews, they're on the floor. They're suffering enormously here. This is a completely unacceptable situation.
The Biden White House, which is leery about calls for a ceasefire, says Israeli officials are focusing on lower intensity attacks toward Hamas.
You're going to transition to a different set of objectives, and you're going to achieve those different set of objectives through different tactics and operations. I mean, that's just standard for the conduct of military operations.
According to the Hamas-controlled health ministry, roughly 20,000 Palestinians were killed since the war started on October 7th.
No one wants to see that. So we will continue to communicate with our Israeli partners on the importance of taking civilian safety into account in their operations.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Like the Advocate Channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
Vice President Kamala Harris is launching what the Biden administration calls a Reproductive Freedoms Tour next month.
Women can trust us to protect their fundamental freedoms.
The tour starts in Wisconsin, a general election battleground state, on January 22nd, which is the 51st anniversary of the Roe v. Wade ruling that guaranteed a federal constitutional right to an abortion. Last year, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and made abortion care a state's issue with the Dobbs ruling.
We know that public opinion is shifting, particularly post-Dobbs.
Jessica Waters, a professor at American University whose research focuses on reproductive rights law and policy, emphasized that abortion care is a topic that's motivating voters to go to the polls.
What we are seeing is that voters who lean Democrat are more likely to say than they ever have been that this is the issue I will vote on. So I think that Vice President Harris's strategy, and to particularly visit some of the swing states to get out the vote on this issue is incredibly effective.
While many states have banned or severely restricted abortion access since Roe v. Wade was overturned, several states have voted to protect abortion rights or block abortion restrictions.
In the states where it's actually been on the ballot, we see a victory every single time.
A CNN poll conducted in November found that more voters are in alignment with the Democratic Party than the Republican Party when it comes to reproductive rights. A Biden campaign official tells our team that the topic of abortion rights will be the central pillar of the campaign moving forward. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Follow the Advocate channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
In a matter of weeks, it's expected to become the leading coronavirus variant around the world. JN1 has been dubbed a variant of interest by the World Health Organization because it's spreading quickly.
We kind of sensed something different was brewing.
Dr. Joseph Cabaza is a pulmonary and critical care physician at Cleveland Clinic. He says the past couple of weeks he's seen more people being admitted into the ICU with lung issues related to COVID-19.
They have not led to as many ventilators or nothing like the volume we saw early on, but it really, that has been the notable change.
The CDC estimates COVID-19 cases more than doubled in the U.S. between late November and mid-December, perhaps from holiday travel and waning immunity. JN1 only has one change to its spike protein compared with the variant it descended from, but that change seems to have been enough to make JN1 a fitter and faster virus.
If you have diabetes or obesity or heart failure, or especially if you're on medications that lower your immune system, you're in a higher risk category.
To protect yourself and those around you, Cabaza says to first know your risk, whether you're vulnerable to severe disease. Then, if you're having respiratory symptoms, test for COVID-19. If you're infected, antiviral medications can help if given early.
Minimizing your odds of being hospitalized or getting very sick.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Thanks for watching the Advocate channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.